What's happening, guys? It's your boy, The Real ABD, and welcome to the channel. Today we'll be going over masking in Adobe Photoshop. Masking is very easy. A lot of people look at it and they're like, oh no, Adobe Photoshop, oh, I can't. But you know what? It's a lot simpler than that. And all you need is like the front of the car and the back of the car, or you can even do it with people. Like I can just call this guy over right here.
Alright guys, so here's what we're trying to achieve. I just put a preset on this, but basically what we're trying to do is and don't mind the really bad stamping job I did in the middle. It's just to show you guys, but you want to get the front of the car and you also want to get the back of the car in the same shot, and this works really great if you're trying to do a panoramic swipe post on Instagram. Or it's just a cool composition. Oh, and you can also do a background swap if you wanted to, but this is just taking it to another level, and I made this exact shot for a canvas in the future that I'll be printing. But as you can see, the front is crisp and the back is crisp. They're in focus. And how we achieve that is you basically have to position the car in your lens at the perfect spot. So you don't want, if you're shooting a wide angle, you don't want the warp of the wide angle affecting it. So you want to leave a little bit of space on each side. And as you can see, I got that electrical box in the middle. That's what I stamped out. But so you focus your first shot. So let's just say you're lining up the front. You're gonna focus on the front, you're gonna take that shot, then you're gonna get the owner of the car to swing around and give you the back end, and you're gonna try to, and now you're watching this from your camera, so you're able to tell him if he has to scooch a little bit to the left or to the right, but you leave the same amount of space on the other side as well. And as you can see, you're gonna refocus your camera to the back end, and that's about it. Right, so now you have front and back, and both cars are both shots are in focus. You're gonna select the two, you're gonna go up to edit in, and you're gonna open them as layers in Adobe Photoshop. All right, so I already did this just to save loading time, but here are two shots right here. Now, how masking basically works is anything that's black is not visible, anything that's white is visible, and anything in between you can play with the grays is just a lower opacity of visibility, right? So let's start by selecting this layer and drop the opacity here on this layer, and it'll show you that the shadow of the first and the second shot, or the shadow of the second shot, the rear end, is perfectly spaced out. So it's not landing on the front end, or it's not cutting it off in any way, but it's all about positioning. So we're gonna start by creating a mask. So you're just gonna create a mask right there on your back end layer, and then you're gonna select the paintbrush, the opacity at 100. You're gonna have the color black in there, and you're just gonna start painting in nice and slowly the front end shot. Where the huge plus is that the background hasn't changed. So even if you do go over the car a bit, it won't really affect the shot. But as you can see here, I kind of went a bit too much into the shadows over there, and it cut into the back end shadow. So you're just gonna switch it over to a white paintbrush, and you're just gonna rebrush it back in. All right, and that's pretty much it, you guys. So that's how a layer mask works. It's very simple. And you can even play around. Like, here's a great example of opacity. I just turned on the opacity on black paintbrush, and you'll see it really helps with blending. So if you do have a spot, which you don't need it in this picture, but where you need to blend two shots in, you can drop the opacity on your paintbrush and it'll just help you. You just gotta brush it in, and you get used to brushing it in. It does take a little bit getting used to, but that's the shot. It's all put together, and then you can do whatever you like. You can pull it. I'm gonna use a combination of stamping tool and spot removal. And I'm just gonna quickly get rid of some of these things which are around. Yeah, I did a very poor job here. It is just to show you guys how it's done, but yeah, this had to be done better. Could have been done better. Should have been done better. Okay, so in the next case, what we're gonna do is we're actually gonna switch it around, and I'll show you. It doesn't make much of a difference. I'm just gonna remove this mask right here, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna hold down. Well, on Mac, I hold down Command, and you actually hit that mask button, and it creates an inverted mask. So it is a black mask, and then you just select a white paintbrush, and you can paint in the back end, right? Now, where this is useful is that if you have two layers and you're trying to create a mask, but you only need a small portion of that second layer you're trying to mask in, you would invert it and just kind of paint in the small areas that you need. But in this case, because it's basically the same shot taken twice, it works great either way. So
Alright guys, and as promised, here's a quick minute time lapse of that Audi shot with the R6 Avant and how I used masking to achieve the lighting in the backdrop. Do like, subscribe, let me know if there are any changes you'd like me to make, and how I can make these videos better in the future. Peace.